So today is arguably the most important episode in my Ayrton Senna driver career mode. We have reached the final round of the third season, and all that splits me and title rival Fernando Alonso is 2 points. 2! That's it! After 15 races, all that is the difference is 2. Now, how did we even get to this point? And on that question, I was looking at the season results, and there is actually 3 massive similarities between me and Fernando Alonso that is a bit dodgy. Number 1, our highest finish is P1, and both of our lowest finishes is P9. Number 2, we have both won 5 races apiece. His in Bahrain, Monaco, Great Britain, Brazil and Qatar, and mine coming in Saudi Arabia, Melbourne, Imola, Spa and Singapore. And finally, we have both scored 8 podiums. So it does make sense as to why there is only 2 points that split us going into Abu Dhabi. Now, a quick look at the R&D. This is what it looks like. Of course, I do have the balancing out the field modifier on to make things a bit more competitive, and Aston Martin have fallen off a cliff. They were the leaders at the top for most of this season, and as you can see, they're now all the way down in P4, and the gap between us and not just Aston Martin, but the rest of the field is actually quite small, and to be honest, that has reflected on track. The car has been a lot quicker, and I reckon we've got a good chance. Now, I forgot to mention this in my previous episode, but Aston Martin did confirm their Constructors' title last time out in Qatar. The gap is now like 74 points, which obviously the most you can score from one race weekend is like 44, 45, so obviously that's gone. However, we are still in a fight for P2 in the Constructors ahead of Ferrari. There is only 11 points that split us, and I think that is everything to go over. We can talk about that there's a massive R&D change coming next season, of which we can't really afford to adapt any parts. We've got so many left, so next season, we might be starting off slow. But let's forget about next season, because we've got a bloody title race here. We have got a legendary final race of the season. This is rivaling 2021. Okay, maybe not really, but it's quite close, do you know what I mean? So let's get into quali and win this thing. And here we are in qualifying. Now, this is not just the most important qualifying of this series. This might be the most important qualifying of my entire sim racing career that consists of 8 league races and like 50 seasons of career mode. This is arguably most important. I say that because even in my 30 to 40 seasons of career mode that I've never recorded or streamed, just in my own personal time, I have never had a title, a title race that on the end of the season is 2 points. Usually I've won it after the 3rd race, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is very massive. Now, the first lap times that are going to come through from the rest of the field, it's important to keep in mind that I have showed evidence towards a bug that's currently in the game. I don't know how long it's been in the game for. Probably since it came out, where these lap times don't actually mean anything, because once I go out and do my first lap and come back in, these lap times would have changed. Whether they'll be better or worse is up to the game. But honestly, that's quite encouraging. Lando Norris in P3. Fernando Alonso is obviously, that's all we care about. I don't even care about Lando anymore. Bum the geezer. Fernando, P6, a 1 minute 20.3 is the lap time that we are going for. Alright, here it is then. I will say, I'm actually feeling a bit nervous. I mean, usually, because, I'm against robots, I don't really feel pressure, but today, there is quite a bit there, I will say. Now, Abu Dhabi's never been one of my strongest tracks. In fact, it's one of my weakest, alongside tracks like Budapest and Spain as well. I'm also pretty bad at, and as you can see, I'm already 700ths behind Ocon through Sector 1. It's alright though. I'm hoping that my incredible straight line speed that I may or may not have will help me throughout this lap, but this is looking pretty smelly so far, I'm not gonna lie. Sector 2 is about to crop up, and it is gonna be a much better sector but that's only comparing to Esteban Ocon in a tractor. So how that's going to compare to the rest of the field, I have no idea. Now, we have an Alpine that's just going to it's going to be one of those days, huh? It's going to be one of those where everything is against me. Okay. You know what? Have some of that geezer. Didn't even block him. I missed. I should have blocked him, though. Huh. Okay. Well, yeah. That's not ideal. Now, what I will say is that, yes, that was my first lap, so it doesn't really matter. However, it's still annoying. Do you know what I mean? But even with probably losing about half a second to one of the Alpines completely blocking me, I'm still P14, which is bad. But after getting blocked that much, you think I would have lost a lot more. So let's go back to the garage, put some new boots on, see what lap times everyone else has done, and, well, I'm going to have one lap to put it all together and get up there. Great. Alright, so heading into my final run, and I am witnessing something unbelievable. Lando Norris is currently on provisional pole. Has the geezer done that? That is truly astounding by Lando. Well done him. One of only 3 drivers to get into the 1 minute 19s. Main title rival, only title rival, Fernando Alonso, a 1 minute 20.15 in P5. That is... Oh, that's... I'm going to have to find a second, basically. A second should get me ahead of him. So those are the stakes. Let's get into it. If I wasn't feeling nervous before, I definitely am now. I've got 1 lap to try and get ahead of Alonso. Let's do it. Come on, car. Show me some passion. Do you know what I mean? Let's get stuck in. Into turn 1, I'm going to brake a little bit early. Get over the curb. I've had some oversteer. However, I am currently up on my time, which is very, very nice to see. Now, definitely through here, I need to brake a bit earlier. That's still too late. But if I can just get a nice exit, which I do, that's already 2 tenths up. Remember the amount of time I lost through Sector 3 from getting blocked. So that is very encouraging. Again, I'm going to brake a bit early. That was actually literally perfect. Over the curb. Oh, that was gorgeous. Now, I'm not going to have as much overtake as I did on my previous lap, so I am going to lose a bit of time from here. But it's still a very, very good Sector 1 and 2. Charles Leclerc goes fastest of anyone. Very, very good lap by him. That was very impressive. Now, this is where I was getting blocked profusely by the Alpine. So this is where I need to make up some serious time. Through Sector 3. Oh, yes. Oh, I've hooked that up beautifully. I have absolutely smashed that, but it's just not enough time. Final corner, early on the brakes, over the curb, on the exit. He's managed to find another 10th. Oh, my. Where's that going to put me? Oh, I don't know how to feel. Mixed emotions are rushing everywhere at this current stage. I don't know. Is that good? Yes. Yes, that is good. Okay, that is actually not bad at all. Purely because Alonso is 3 places behind me. That's all that matters, you know? Yes, Lando Norris, as I don't even know what he's had for breakfast. Something divine, clearly, because he's diffed me by 3.5 tenths in P3. Unbelievable effort by Lando. But I'm in P7. Crucially, Alonso down in P10. Okay, that's not too bad. It is, of course, important to notice that if I get P9 and Alonso doesn't score points, who would win the championship? Because we both have 5 wins, 8 podiums, and our worst finish is 9th. So how would they work out the tiebreaker? I'd actually like to know, but obviously I intend to finish well ahead of him and secure the title. But anyway, let's get into the race. And let fate decide who will be the champion of the world. And here we are, on the grid for the season finale. This is the strategy for today. It is completely bog standard, so we don't need to go over that anymore because it's just normal. Yeah, I'm feeling optimistic, you know. I mean, there is obviously the side that, you know, given what happened in Qatar, where I lost so many places from the start, given my awful race pace, I'm feeling, will that happen again? Because that does seem to happen around here. My race pace just goes in the mud after about lap 4. I also need to correct myself. At the end of qualifying, I said that even if I finish P9, I won't win the championship. At that time, my brain had a bit of a confusion moment and thought that Alonso was leading by 2, when in actual fact, I'm leading by 2. A very important detail that I somehow got wrong, which of course means that if I finish... Well, if I don't score points and Alonso finishes P9, I presumably win. If Alonso finishes 10th and I don't score points, I win. If I outscore Alonso at all, I win. That's all I've got to do. Beat Alonso. So, let's get into this race. And here we go, the most important race start of my career. Let's do it, and we are away. That is a mediocre start at best, but honestly, not too bad. I've got Sergio Tequila Perez up the side of me. Would be beneficial for me if he doesn't go by, so I'm going to try and cut him off, which I do. Fernando Alonso already up 1 place as well, up to P9, so that isn't ideal. In a real-life situation, Lance Stroll might be asked to do something cheeky and block me in order for Fernando to go by. Thankfully, these AI have about the combined IQ of about 0.2, so that won't happen. Sergio Perez looking for a move. We've got to be careful on the braking here. Whoa, Checo! He's absolutely sent it, and he's not just gone past me. He's trying to get past Stroll. And oh, why couldn't we see this from you in 2024? Fernando Alonso, where do you come from? Hang on, I need to lock in. That was very scary. I almost just already lost a position to Fernando, and we're not even past the first lap. Okay, that isn't ideal. Sergio Perez as well is just... He's already up like 3 places. Yeah, where was this in real life last year? Huh? Really? Okay, cool. So there is the first lap complete. And I lost a place. And Alonso gained a place. So we are now neck and neck. Not ideal. However, if Alonso stays 1 place behind me, or even if he finishes 1 place ahead of me, unless we start getting into the top 5, I should still win. But just looking at the gap to Stroll already, it seems like what happened in Qatar is repeating itself, where my race pace just falls to absolute shit. So I'm going to try and find a way to counter that. I'm going to use very, very aggressive defending. I was sort of hoping for this finale to be between me and Alonso, right at like the top end of the field, so like 2021, where we were fighting for P1 and 2. But from just these first couple laps, it does seem like it's going to be me versus Alonso down in like P7, which is a bit of a bummer, but I suppose it's still a battle. Oh, look at that straight line speed. That is absolutely gorgeous and very encouraging. It basically means that if I can just stay within DRS of Stroll, Alonso can't even get close to going for an overtake on me. So that's actually really nice to know. Alright, a little update. We are now a quarter of the way through the race already, and everything is sort of settled down a little bit. The pace is okay. I'm very comfortably sticking with Lawrence. Fernando is also comfortably behind me. Literally hasn't even had the slightest opportunity to go for a move. And my ERS tank, as you can see, very high, so I've got a lot of reserve if I need it. Everything's looking pretty at the moment. If it stayed like this and, you know, no one pitted and nothing happened, I'm confident I would be able to just stay here and win. Of course, that's not how it works. There's pit stops, there's potential safety cars and red flags and all of that. Oh, did Alonso just go wide in my wing mirror? Did you see that? I think he went wide a little bit there. Unluckily for me, he seemed to have corrected himself very, very fast, and it's made no difference whatsoever, but that is a show that the AI has nerves, and they are rocking his shit. I, currently, ice cold, you know? I'm driving like normal, which is still pretty average, but I'm not like making easy mistakes, you know what I mean? Alright, this is interesting. It seems like we've actually caught up with the pack ahead. If you look at the bottom left of your screen, there is virtually no gap between me and P8 and P2. The only large gap there is between P2 and 1. which is a Ferrari against a Red Bull. You've also got Lando in P3, and you can actually see him just up ahead, so that's cool. It's nice to know that although he completely whopped my shit in quali, I am sort of sticking with him in the race. That's quite encouraging. Alright, it's turned lap 9, everyone has bunched up even more now, there is an even less gap. It's got to the point now where the AI are trying some tricky moves on the car ahead, and it is also now the time for me to pit onto the hard tyres. Of course, this is where the race is made or completely shattered into 1,000 pieces. It all comes down to the pit crew. And as we know, as of recent, my pit stops have been pretty shocking. I would say there is a, 1 in 3 chance that my pit stop is going to be woefully slow. So, if there's ever a time for the pit crew to be nice and sharp and fast, it is, of course, today. Come on, the boys! It's also important to note that one of these 2 Aston Martins are also going to stop, of course. One of them ain't... They can't both stop at the same time, obviously. So who's it going to be? Because if it's Lance Stroll, that means I get a chance to undercut Alonso. If it's Alonso, well, if I have a slow stop, I'll lose the place to him. Who's it going to be? It is going to be Fernando Alonso, who pits, even though his teammate was the car ahead. That is very, very interesting. And let's see what this stop time is going to be. Come on. Okay. You know what? That has worked out infinitely better than I could have ever imagined. I was like, hang on, why are you not letting me go? But they didn't let Alonso go over, and because of it, I've actually gained another position on Alonso. He is now 2 places behind me with Hamilton in between. Downside is I no longer have DRS on Verstappen, and Hamilton, well, he might just whoop me with the track reduction system enabled. But let's see, do I have the straight line speed to hold him off? I can only go down to about 40. That's all I've got. He's going around the outside, the cheeky bugger, and Lance Stroll is out of the session. Are we seeing a bit of Singapore Crashgate going on here? Or is that an actual DNF? Of course, it's an actual DNF. They don't do that kind of thing in this game. It would be really funny. All right, Lando Norris is in the pits, as is pretty much everyone who didn't stop last lap, except, I believe, one of the Ferraris, or... No, I think he has stopped. He's just that far ahead, whichever Ferrari that is. And, actually, hang on a minute. There's Lando Norris. Here is George Russell. He's going to go wheel to wheel. I was hoping he wouldn't do that. We're going to have to go round the outside. Come on, give me the place, give me the place, give me the place. Go on, go. Please, this would be really... Oh my, look at that. Another place between... No, Alonso, don't be a knobhead. Okay, yes, look at that. There is now another place between me and Alonso. Posh Spice, the driver I dislike most, is actually saving me at this current point in time. That is legendary from Posh Spice. I don't know why I called him that. I think it's because he's posh. So it's just, it's funny. All right, here comes George Russell. He's a bit closer this time. I've made a couple little... Hang on, he's gone. I'm not having this. Let's put some order here. No, wait, he's still going for it. This geezer is off his head. Can I have my place back, please? Thanks. I'm starting to make a lot of little tiny mistakes, and it is kind of ruining me. But like I said, as long as I've got DRS, I'm fine. So, yeah, although I am dangerously close to losing that DRS, I need to get a bit of a hurry up, bit of a move on, because that will actually cook me. If I lose DRS here, I'm going to lose like 3 places on the next lap, and that's obviously the opposite of what I need right now. Well... Shit! That is the only... Oh no, it's all falling to pieces. Someone help me. I've lost DRS on Hamilton. This is looking bleak. I've not got much ERS to use. There goes Russell. Alonso's trying it as well, and he's going for the double. You better not, you absolute nutcase. Hang on. let's not lose that to Fernando as well, please. Okay, well, I've regained DRS, I suppose, and I'm still ahead of Alonso. Maybe. He's looking for it. Checo Perez, my saviour. He's sending it on Alonso. Go on, my son. He's always been my favourite. I've got his helmet behind me. I've got loads of clothing of his. Not like actually his. That's a bit weird. Just things that have got his racing number on. Ugh. And he doesn't even get the place. So, okay. Not the end of the world, though. Still, I've got DRS on Russell, and that's all that matters. Right, well, I've no longer got DRS on Russell. It has all gone catastrophically wrong in sort of the last couple laps. Here comes Alonso. I'm, of course, going to fight this like I've never fought anything before. And I do manage to keep the place. But for how much longer? Oh, no. I haven't got much ERS left. Block off Alonso. Maybe Checo Perez can go for it. Yes. Go on. Do him in. Send him shopping. No, I've gone wide. Alonso slipped up the inside, the cheeky bugger. Can't be having that round here. No, absolutely not. I have no idea what's happened the sort of last 2 laps. I know this happened a lot in the early stages of F1 24 and a lot in F1 23 where, especially on the hards, after a few laps, even though the wear is perfectly fine, the tyres just don't work anymore. So as we enter the final 5 laps of the race, oh shit, this is going to go right down to the wire. Here comes Fernando. DRS part 1. Is he going to go for it? He is going for it. And wow. All right. Well, there's that sorted. Okay. Fair enough, Fernando. I can't do anything about that. There's nothing more I could have done apart from not made loads of silly mistakes the previous 2 laps. But whatever. To be honest, I have no idea what happens at this stage because, I mean, if we work out the points, so 10 gets 1, 9th gets 2, 8th gets 4, 7th gets 6. So, Fernando scores 6 and I score 4, which means we will end the season on equal points with the same amount of wins, the same amount of podiums, the same lowest finish. So if it stays like this, who would win the championship? Would it come down to the fact that I have 1 more second place? Because I believe I have 5 wins, 2 seconds and 1 third. Meanwhile, Alonso has 5 wins, 1 second and 2 thirds. That must be what they go off. So if it stays like this, I'm fairly confident, I say about 80% confident, I'll still be world champion. But I don't know. Whew. 3 laps remain. That's all it is. 3 more Tres mass laps remain. That's my brief knowledge of Spanish coming through. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, look at the situation here. I've got a lot of ERS. Fernando's not really pulling away, so I am feeling pretty confident I can just stay here. And that should win me the title. So, everything's still looking great, isn't it? Penultimate lap of the race has started. The situation is exactly the same. The only difference is that I now have even more ERS. Realistically, I am looking at a final lap overtake on Alonso, and I feel like he'll be very, very easy. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I could probably overtake him now, but my thinking is that I'll be on the final lap with no DRS and no ERS, and that will cook me. So I'm just going to stay composed and just stay behind him and then just blitz past him on the final lap. I think that's a pretty good tactic. And here it is then, the final lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Who is going to be world champion? I need to be a little bit careful here, actually. Alonso is getting a little bit too far ahead for my liking, so I'm going to try and close the gap a little bit, which should be fairly easy. And then it's just giving it everything down that straight and getting past him, really. Or at the very least, not getting done by Checo. That is obviously another primary target of mine. And let's do it. Come on, car. Show me some straight line speed. Uh-oh. Oh, no. No, 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 no. No, you don't. No, you absolutely do not. You do not do these things to me, Checo. I have worshipped you for 4 years of my life. You will not do this to me now. You will absolutely not. Get away from me. I don't have DRS. No, shut up. No, 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 no! You bastard! You have not just done what I think you have done, have you? Wait! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Checo has bottled it on the final corner. Oh no, I bottled it! No! 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 Please no! No! I'm lost for words. Genuinely, I don't know what to say. What do I say? On one hand, that is one of the greatest moments in F1 24 history, to go from winning to losing to winning to losing in the space of like 4 corners is unbelievable. But on the other hand, I very rarely make mistakes like that. You know, it came down to me with the adrenaline that I was feeling. I got a bit too trigger happy, or throttle happy, whatever you want to say. And because of it, I spun. And in my efforts to correct myself, to give myself a chance, I only made it worse. Think of Checo Perez in Qatar, in real life, or at Abu Dhabi at this very circuit. He done that. He spun, and trying to correct himself only made it worse. And, well, I have lost Season 3's World Championship. And I think that this could be put in the Hall of Fame for one of the biggest bottle jobs in motorsport history. Take a look at the bigger picture here. Before Qatar, I was leading by like, what, 30-something points, 34 points? And here I am, 2 races later, with back-to-back P9 finishes, and I've lost. Wow. A final look at the standings, before I need to go and sob in a corner for 4 hours, is this. Fernando Alonso wins the title by 2 points over myself. Of course, if I finished ahead of Perez, which I obviously should have done, I believe I win the title. I mean, we would have both finished on 252. And like I said, I believe that they do go off, you know, highest result, if not first. We, of course, both had 5 wins, but I believe I had 1 more second, and I think that's what would have done it. Lando as well. Another disappointing season. You know, 180 points behind me is unacceptable. Really, like that's really bad from Lando. But a good final 2 races, definitely pulled it back considerably. And in the Constructors, we already know who won the Constructors, but what I completely forgot to mention throughout the entire duration of that race is, do we win the battle for P2? And honestly, I believe we do. But let's verify it. Here we go. Yes, we win the battle for P2 in the Constructors. So I suppose that is a positive we can take. And that's all down to Lando as well. I only picked up 2 points. Lando picked up, like, what, 13? So, yeah, that was all down to Lando, so cheers for that, mate. You pulled through when it mattered. But yeah, I have lost the World Championship after leading by 35 points or whatever it was with 2 rounds left. Alright, so I've not really done this before. Usually at the end of a season, I'll show the results, that's it. I'm actually going to sit here for another minute or two and just go through the end of the season thing because, well, it's quite annoying, really. So the first thing we've got to do is, it says it's time to go and make a decision on the next leg of your F1 journey. So if we go to Team Select, it's really, really cringe how this game works. And I'm still not certain of how it works. I don't really know. Pretty much, for this series, I wanted to start at Lotus of what team they are now, but I don't actually know what they are now. I don't think they are a team now. You know, like Red Bull used to be Jaguar and Ford and Stewart and that kind of thing? Well, I thought, hang on, if I can't do Lotus, I'll start off with McLaren. So I've done McLaren for 3 seasons now. Realistically speaking, I'm probably only going to get to do 1, maybe 2 more seasons of this series before F1 25 comes out. So I wanted to go to Williams and do a cool little thing of like, maybe Ayrton Senna, you know, what if he never had that crash kind of thing. And like maybe win the title, win the Constructors with Williams, because I think that's a really, really cool idea. However, it doesn't let me join any of these teams. I can't join Red Bull, I can't join Mercedes, I can't join Ferrari, I can't join Williams. The only teams I'm allowed to join is Aston, McLaren, Haas, and Alpine. And, well, out of those, the only real choice is to stay at McLaren. That's all there really is to it, to be honest. Now, what I will say is that I'll say it at the end of next season, if I get there. If there is a world where you lot want me to join as Ayrton Senna, just a random team like Haas or Alpine, I'll be more than happy to do so. But I wanted this series to be a recreation of his career. So start at what Lotus are now, go to McLaren, then to Williams, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, the game just doesn't let you do that, and I'm not sure what it comes down to. So we're going to remain at McLaren for another season. And there we go. Contract signed. I am now a McLaren driver for next season. Now, before I head off, we do have the regulation change coming up. As you can see, there is 13 parts here, 9 and 5, that I won't be able to adapt. So I can adapt 1 part and that's it. So next season might be incredibly tough for us. And to be fair, this season was incredibly tough, considering, you know, the fact that I even got in a title fight in the first place and was leading comfortably for most of it was already shocking enough. Our car has never really gone beyond where it is now. This is the best the car has been all season. And those are the finishing results. As you can see, me and Alonso's results, worst was P9. We both had 5 wins. We both had however many podiums. And actually, I was completely wrong. Back there, I said that I had an extra 2nd place. That's actually wrong. Fernando has 3 second places and 5 wins. I have 5 wins, 2 seconds, and 1 third, which means if Alonso finished 7th and I finished 8th, not 9th, Alonso would have won it on the tiebreaker. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, that's going to be all from me for Season 3 of Ayrton Senna's driver career. I'll be back very soon to kick off Season 4, and look forward to some more streams. Next week, I'm going to start doing streams, hopefully every other day. We'll see how I feel. Doing some Jenson Button career, where I'm trying to recreate his career path, currently sitting at Mercedes, and some Toyota My Team career mode. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you lot next time. What an episode, but also just completely tragic.